Surviving Reality contains explicit content full of snark and sarcasm that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Reality.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and this is Welcome to Plathville Season 7, Episode 5, The Secret.
This one's The Secret. Last week was The Proposal. And then this one's The Secret.
Yeah, that was my accident. I must have gotten ahead of myself copying and pasting the episode titles and descriptions.
See, they want you to think that The Secret is that Zach is gay, but we know that's not the case. The secret is that Veronica has been speaking to Olivia.
Which isn't a secret to us. It's just to the Plath family.
Yeah.
Well, in this episode, the fallout from Lydia's proposal continues as Micah and Ethan question Zach. Veronica confronts Amber and Ethan about the Plath's treatment of her and later reveals a big secret to Micah. Moriah enjoys a night out on the town with Barry before her big move to Montana. I gotta tell you, the description had my expectations pretty low.
Yeah, it didn't seem like this was going to be a good one. And then it just kept going. Just kept hitting.
There are a lot of strong feelings coming off of last week's episode, so I cannot imagine how the rest of the season's going to play out, because you can go ahead and read all of the, I don't know if they posted the last one yet, but they had all of the descriptions up on TLC's site through episode 10, and it sounds like the behavior throughout the season just gets increasingly worse.
So we'll be here to recap every single moment of that. And actually, next week, it's not just us recapping it.
We'll be joined by Mary Payne of the Pink Shade podcast. So we're very, very excited to be talking about, it's the Birds and the Bees episode next week.
I'm sure there's plenty of lessons to be had in there. So we'll only be moderately terrified. That's good. Keeps you sharp.
Well, before we get into this episode, I want to talk a little bit more about last week, because Lydia has been posting, I don't know how many parts this series is going to be. It's up to 5 parts currently of her story of her proposal over on Instagram.
Okay, well, they had to do 2 whole podcast episodes on the Duggar podcast. So that was like maybe 3 hours of content. So I don't know how many parts that's going to break up into. But it's the same story. Or wait, no, this is the proposal story. So this is different, because that was like their initial meetup and
the story of the
introduction.
formation of their relationship.
Yeah.
And this is specifically everything around the proposal and the filming of it.
Okay, so that I have no gauge on how long that's going to be, but basing it off of the few weeks and how those were summarized, I feel like she's going to go through every single moment with excruciating, painstaking detail.
Mostly, except she's not going to talk about anything that has to do with the family. She ended up having to, in part 4, make a caption that explained all of the things that are going to be off limits.
It's good to set boundaries.
So temper your expectations there. But the thing that I found really interesting that she shared was that the day that Ethan approached her to have that conversation about how he didn't like Zach was the day before Zach proposed.
And that was also, Lydia freaked out a little bit and called Zach and was basically all broken up about it in tears, while Zach is secretly trying to get to Cairo. He's traveling there for the proposal, so he has to deal with Lydia, who's falling to pieces over this conversation with Ethan.
I thought it was interesting for so many reasons. The first is that she did not act like that on camera. She tried to kind of pivot it.
Pivot it?
Hold on. I think I may have had as many drinks as Mama Plath. She tried to pivot the conversation on camera.
Hold on. Blow into this. I don't know if you're going to be.
Did I pass?
I don't know if you're going to be able to podcast today.
She made it seem like she was just genuinely touched by him having concern for her. But then she went home and cried on the phone to Zach about the fact that Ethan didn't like him, which then means Zach had to know that as he's coming to propose, and everything that happened at their proposal with Ethan trying to light things on fire and just generally cause issues, he knew that it was because Ethan didn't like him.
Yeah, that helps provide a little bit more context to the reaction that Zach had, where he was very direct, very immediate in his response of, why are you doing this? He kind of knew that there was already some ill will here, and Ethan may not be acting out in his best intentions right now.
I kind of think it takes the stuff that we saw to a whole nother level too, because that was probably not the appropriate time to have a conversation like that, knowing that literally the next day you're going to the cabin to watch him propose.
Oh, you're saying that for Ethan to bring that up a day before was a dick move.
It didn't give her any time to process what was said. It didn't give Zach any time to try to get to know Ethan better and vice versa. And that's why she was so upset at the proposal when she suggested that Ethan spend some time with Zach and get to know him. Because they had just had that conversation the day before.
And that was why she was extra hurt too, because he still didn't seem interested in that. Do you think Ethan would even clock that would be an issue to bring this up the day before? Because then that's the other thing that people were pointing out.
I do.
The history of the show, when Ethan was talking about how if he had a problem with one of his siblings, he was getting upset that Micah was voicing his opinions about Ethan and Olivia's relationship. And he basically told the cameras at that time, if I had a problem with any of my siblings and their relationships, then I wouldn't bring that up, because I think that's just disrespectful.
I think that he did it on purpose because he was hoping that she would say no, because then we saw him while the proposal was happening mumbling, "Please don't say yes. Please don't say yes." So I do think he was hoping that conversation that they had the day before would be playing in her head as the proposal was happening, and that maybe she wouldn't agree to it. Well, let's jump in where we left off, because we were on a cliffhanger as to whether or not Zach is gay.
Zach, who we just watched propose to Ethan's sister, is he gay? Probably not the time to ask that, I guess, at this point either. Plus, it's also just generally disrespectful to ask a straight man, "Are you gay?"
To ask anybody about their sexuality.
Well, I guess that's what's so difficult about this, right? Is that we were talking about this being raised in this sort of bubble that they're in, where they don't get to have these conversations. They don't get to experience these things. They're not allowed to explore anything on their own. Do you think maybe that's the bigger issue here? Is that we have this stifling community that restricts people and puts them in a box that you have to do certain things, behave certain ways?
I don't know. I think it just shows that the Plaths are their own weird microcosm of a community that they formed because they had no outsiders. Because he even says to Zach, "I've never met somebody like you before."
I don't think Ethan's met a lot of people.
Correct. But then they just interpret anybody who's different in any way from themselves as there is something wrong with them. Because they felt the same way about Olivia.
Yeah. Well, Micah was quick to defend, though, because, I mean, Ethan tries to say that he doesn't have anything against the gays, obviously.
Which we know is factually untrue, because Olivia has posted about the horrific things that he said about gay people. And I believe there was something that involved a pew-pew and a TV at some point. So,
or like
untrue.
He'll do finger pew-pews at certain people on TV who are gay or something to that effect.
I do agree with something that he said, which is that he doesn't think that a gay man should marry a woman. And I agree, Ethan Plath, and I think that's why we need to ensure that we continue to uphold marriage equality. So I'm glad to see that you have come around and that you're in that corner.
Well, now don't put words in my mouth. I may be about love, but I'm not all about love.
Oh, I think we buried the lead that Zach is not gay and that he confirmed that.
Well, because we already knew that. This is not breaking news. I was upset by Zach's reaction, too, because he had to laugh first and then answer no, because he knew if he didn't answer quickly, then that would just add more suspicion.
Little hesitation.
He's been in these witch hunts before, I feel like.
I think in that moment it finally connected for him that, oh, that's why Ethan doesn't like me.
Oh, you're a bigoted idiot. Okay. Well, I thought you were just backwoods and simple, but now I'm learning a little bit more about your character. It's really coming to light, really shaping into 3 dimensions for me now.
What did you think about the fact that he wasn't offended by that and he thought it was okay that Ethan asked him?
See, Zach, it's okay for you to not be offended. I'll be offended for you, okay? Like, I'll take
America's
over.
Defended for you. Offended for you. And defending you.
You should be offended by that. The other thing that's upsetting is that even, like, being in this weird conversation with Ethan and Micah and Zach is still offering up, "I'm sorry that that's the way you feel about me. You got a weird vibe off of me because you don't really know me. I would like for you guys to get to know me better." He's still approaching this as an open
invitation
hey,
to get to know him. He is an open book.
Yes.
Ask me anything. I'll spend more time with you. I'll come visit. He's trying to get them to like him.
And I mean, Micah did kind of take him up on it, but mostly for like a work exploitation is what it was sounding like. He's like, yeah, I need labor for my fencing company, so maybe you can swing down to Boca sometime. Got a lot of jobs lined up.
Given what we saw later in the episode, I suspect you may be right.
I mean, that was seeming like the basis of it, because it wasn't so much of Micah trying to say, yeah, I would like to get to know you. He really wanted to see Zach's work ethic on display. That was what he wanted to put to the test.
I don't know if Micah really has a big problem with Zach. I think the big problem was Ethan thinking that Zach was gay, and now they've cleared that up. Or did they? Because Ethan said he wasn't really satisfied with his answer.
I'm also not convinced. Even though he told me, I asked him flat out, I'm still questioning. Because Ethan knows gay. He's still just, there's a little something there. He felt a spark, a connection. And so this can't just be a straight man.
I feel so bad for Zach. He spent the whole day, first of all, even from the time that he got to the airport, that he's supposed to be flying to propose to
Cairo? Yeah, he's going to Cairo. Well,
I was going to say to Olivia.
No.
That's still the most
Lydia.
Annoying point of the show, Lydia and Olivia. But
the scary part too, he had to get in a car with Kim.
Yes, I'm saying it was trauma after trauma after trauma. Then they tried to light his proposal location on fire and ruin the entire thing. Then he has to get questioned about his sexuality.
It's a long day, finished out by an interrogation.
Didn't he look like he was about to fall asleep on camera when he was answering some of the questions in the talking head segment?
Well, this is kind of like the experience of attempting to join the Plath family, is that it's like you have to be broken down into like this weird moldable state. And so, yeah, this is just like the CIA questioning that's happening, the interrogation at the cabin in the woods. And this is what it's coming down to.
So he's just relieved to go home and shut his brain off for a while, which is the state in which the Plaths would like you to return in. Just keep that thing off.
Lobotomized. They want you to feel safer with your brain off around them, because that's how you're going to need to operate.
That's why things are working so well for Tegan.
Standard issue. Oh.
A Tegan-free episode, by the way.
Wouldn't have even noticed if she was in, because it just would have been static on my screen. White noise, background noise.
Thank God Lydia was the only one who was pissed about the questioning. Because Zach was trying to act like it wasn't a big deal, and she was like, no, actually, it was a big deal.
You know what? I think I'm offended by that. Lydia doesn't even know how to be upset about something. She's confused. That's what she's allowed to feel. Because upset would be too negative of an emotion. So she's still trying to figure out, why on earth would Ethan think that Zach is gay when he just proposed to me, Lydia, Ethan's sister?
I like that she used the opportunity to shame them. Well, to shame society overall,
just
actually,
yeah, in general,
about how it's really sad and confusing that people would take Zach saving their first kiss as an indication that he wasn't attracted to her, instead of taking it as him attempting to honor her in some way.
Well, and it's also just another highlight of a Ethan hypocrisy, because Ethan saved himself for marriage with Olivia. So did that make Ethan gay? Nobody accused him of that.
I wouldn't be going down that rabbit hole, because I think Ethan will tell you some details of things just to prove that he's straight that you don't want to know.
Maybe let's not tug at that thread. Yeah. But Lydia's got big news, too. She's over here with Barry and two of the littles. I think it's Live and Laugh, or...
I don't know. See, two of the...
No, it's Laugh and Love.
It's the scarier ones.
It's Laugh and Love, the two smaller ones.
This is kind of devastating, because we thought that Lydia and Zach moved to Colorado.
I thought they did. I thought they mentioned that on the podcast interview that they did. So maybe they had just been visiting his family or something, but apparently they live in Tallahassee, because that's the plan now, is that instead of moving to Colorado right after the wedding, they're going to be moving to Tallahassee. Even though Barry's trying to invite Zach to live in Cairo for the interim time.
Because he can't go live with Lydia. They're not going to live in sin beforehand. He can't sleep on that leather couch the whole time.
Oh, man, yeah, he'll be stuck there. You're not going to be able to get him out of there.
You know what annoys me? Because everybody is shocked that Barry is such a big Zach fan, and it's kind of getting people into Barry's court. he's gathering more fans. But the thing that is a big red flag to me is that Barry has no problem accepting the men that come into this family, because he was also the biggest fan of the devil in the suit and tie.
He was the biggest fan, and then he was the biggest enemy, and then he became the biggest fan again, because Barry's just a flip-flopper, too. He has no principles. He has no standards.
Oh, but he hates all the women.
Well, I mean, there are some
They're all
things
conniving and manipulative.
you could just kind of count on. Yeah, there are consistencies. I mean, I guess Tallahassee does make more sense for them with Zach's going to try and make a career of tennis coaching. How many people in Cairo do you think are trying to learn how to play tennis?
Oh, forget Cairo, but
Florida? Florida in general?
He can definitely have a career in that in Florida.
Barry just wants them as close to Cairo as possible because he's very concerned about the birth of their firstborn. the birth of their firstborn child. And that seems to be a big focus for Barry.
Do you have a chubby bunny in your mouth? Is that what's going on?
That's a personal question asking me about my chubby bunny.
Ethan's going to start asking you some questions. He's going to have some follow-ups to that.
How chubby is your bunny?
No, yeah, Barry's excited to have grandchildren nearby because Hosanna just took hers and never came back.
Yeah.
She had smartest. Those kids and she said, peace.
Deuces.
See you when they're grown.
Maybe. Eventually.
Do you think that they'll make it the 2 years? Because Lydia was saying, oh no, maybe like 2 years from now, but not in the immediate future.
She mentioned in that interview that they're both baby hungry, as Robin Brown would say.
Okay, so they've made it 6 months.
So far.
And they're already thinking about babies.
Oh, it wasn't even like they were before the engagement, before the proposal. They were both like, oh yeah, gung-ho about kids, but also not in a rush to have them. So I think that they are still planning for it. They want to enjoy their time together because they know their life will basically come to an end as a relationship couple once they have kids.
You just pissed a lot of people off.
Prove me wrong. Debate me.
Oh God! Here comes the slew of one-star
Well, you can't
reviews.
You can't debate me in a review because I can't reply in an Apple
that's
Podcast
true.
review.
We
so
can't.
Yeah, send me a
so
message.
leave us a comment somewhere instead.
Something, yeah, on YouTube or wherever.
I don't know that she has the family planning skills to be able to wait 2 years, even if that is the goal.
Yeah, do you think they're using birth control?
Let's see what the sex talk next week consists of, but I don't think they're going to get that detailed.
We're going to have to base it off of that because, yeah, I mean, we get a preview of who's doing the sex talk. We've heard Kim's sex talk with Ethan on his wedding day, which was basically plug the right hole. Maisie did not like that at all. Maisie did not like that. That's okay.
You know what it sounds like? It's one of those like Halloween like witch figurines. That's what it's giving.
It's almost an insult to witches, though, isn't it? I feel like that's a little degrading. But we learn about Braxton Hicks because that's what Barry's teasing Lydia about. In just a few short years, we're going to see Lydia doubled over with her Braxton Hicks contractions.
I hope you're not, Barry.
And we said, which one, Braxton or Hicks?
That's a polyfam deep cut, guys. You got to go back and listen to those episodes. I can get behind the fact that Barry thinks Ethan should apologize to Zach. But I'm not sure why Barry can't see that he in turn should apologize to Veronica.
Because Veronica's a woman and Barry's a man, and a man doesn't need to apologize to a woman. I think that's probably a big part of it. Yeah, to call out, well, I guess this is just more hypocrisy. So this is where Ethan learned it from.
Oh, this is my favorite thing to point out on this show.
Hypocrisy on display.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, absolutely. Because for Barry to say, oh, that doesn't count, that Ethan had kind of apologized to you and you passed that along to Zach, that doesn't count. Okay, well, have you talked to Veronica recently? I don't think that that's come up in conversation.
Well, Barry did nothing wrong in the first place, so that's why he doesn't have to apologize.
By his standards.
Can we talk about the Chubby Bunny scene? Because it's going to haunt my dreams.
Oh, boy.
I didn't need to see this. I guess this is Barry's response to when Kim staged that pie fight at the end of one of the earlier seasons.
See, we got a couple of Barry clapbacks this episode, but he did them both in the same episode with the same people. So this was like the response to the pie finale when, I don't know how, didn't pie end up in Lydia's face? because she has to be the butt of everything at that time. She's like, it's okay. It's my fault. I'm the middle child.
Is he trying to prove that he's the fun parent? Like it was never really him who had all of these strict rules and that he's the supportive parent that they have?
That became
the stable, supportive one?
Yeah, like that became the basis of it, where it's just, wow, look how much I've grown as a parent and how relaxed I am now because I'm not as uptight as I used to be. Because then that's what the alcohol conversation is, because then we have to see that Barry's a cool dad who goes out and has a drink every once in a while too. He'll crack open a seltzer once in a while, even though he ordered a hard cider.
He got a watermelon Truly.
He ordered a cider, a hard cider, and the man has a Truly sitting in front of him. That's a seltzer, sir.
Okay, I needed to see the full uncut version of him.
His uncut chubby bunny. You're making personal requests over here that cannot be fulfilled.
I needed to see the full order because I'm pretty sure it went, can I get a hard cider? And they said, we don't have any. And then he said, can I get a kombucha? And they said, we don't have any. And then they somehow settled on a Truly.
Yeah, how are we going to say that this is like a new thing that Barry's drinking? We know he's been chugging kombucha since season 1. You fucking addict, you fiend.
Okay, who's here? We have Sydney, who we met a while ago when she went to that strawberry festival with Moriah.
Yeah, she's the strawberry friend, Sydney. You remember her?
Barely.
Well, I did like when we were watching Love on the Spectrum, we figured out DJ Taiwai, he DJs, he plays at the Strawberry Festival. That's the festival. Because we were like, wait a minute.
This looks familiar. How do we know these surroundings?
Strikingly similar. And we had to go back to the Plathville episode where Moriah met up with Sydney for the Strawberry Fest. That's it. That's the one.
So
Same
I guess
one.
They're just willing to sign any release for any reality TV show that wants to
They're
film
like,
there.
bring a camera, bring whatever. Sure.
So she's back, and I find the timing of this suspicious because I don't know about you. I was getting the feeling that Sydney and Barry were flirting a little bit.
Oh, no. I don't like that at all, though. This felt like a grooming game, didn't it? How much can you stuff in your mouth? Maybe let's not. Can we not do that? Doesn't that feel inappropriate? Is that just me? Am I over the line?
I don't know. Well, the last time I've seen this on television was when we got to see Amy and Tammy do it on 1,000-Pound Sisters.
I'm just thinking of when they sprayed protein shake all over each other because they started laughing and
no,
it
they did
shot
the
out of
Chubby
their
Bunny
nose.
thing too.
Oh, they did Chubby Bunny too?
Maybe it was on their YouTube. Try being my size, Amy.
Right, yeah.
You don't know how it is.
True. You know who doesn't know how it is? Moriah, because she's just moving to Montana to challenge herself?
No, she's trying to seek out a new problem to distract herself from all of the other problems that she's already created.
She's looking for a bigger challenge so she can ignore all of these little challenges that are completely debilitating her as a human being.
Instead, she wants to focus on just, I need to go someplace where just staying alive is going to be my main focus.
Survive. That's the goal here. Maybe she needs to take a lesson from Zach on just how to turn that brain off for a little bit. You gotta shut that down every once in a while. Just kind of zone out, reset, recenter.
Can nobody suggest something else to her? Like maybe we should try therapy. I don't know. Maybe we need to see if we need any other types of interventions, injections.
I object.
Maybe we need to put down the glass of wine. She seemed to become a big fan of that. I'd like the Pinot Grigio. She ordered it very weird, didn't she?
She did say it weird.
She said it. I don't remember how she said it, but it was not correct.
It didn't sound great.
No.
She was already slurring.
It's giving Ramona Singer.
It's giving Kim Plath. Like, we can keep it in universe right here.
Okay, so they go out to that bar where Barry gets the Truly. And
yeah, where Barry's a cool dad drinking with kids, too, because Mama Plath has already done that. She's established that.
I want to talk more about that because he's basically saying most of the kids are grown. Live, laugh, and love. They don't count.
Yeah, I mean, we're down to like a normal size amount of children.
These ones can like raise themselves.
They're pretty much on autopilot at this point.
So we're going to throw all the rules out the window.
So it's almost like...
So they're rules and not values.
Yeah, so it's almost like they weren't a requirement that you had established. That was almost like it was a system of control because you were wildly outnumbered by your children? Is that what we're addressing now?
Yeah, it's kind of seeming like maybe we used religion.
Isolation?
To to manipulate the children to get them to behave in a certain way. And now that that's no longer a personal need for ourselves, we're going to discard all of that.
You know, it doesn't work to my benefit anymore. And I'm actually missing out on a lot of things that I used to enjoy in moderation. Everything in moderation, including moderation.
I just need them to ask more in-depth questions when they say something like that, because there is so much not being said. And they really have abandoned a lot of the conversation from the early seasons, which was around how they raised the kids, how the kids felt about it. Was this right or wrong in the end with the outcome that they got? And they just have stopped talking about that entirely. And all they do is focus on the drama that outsiders bring into the family.
Yeah, because instead of going into depth about those conversations or those questions, no, we're asking stupid relationship questions about how's Moriah's love life? Probably just as shitty as it was a couple weeks ago when you guys checked in. And then, oh, how's Barry's love life? I don't need to know the details of Barry's love life at this point.
Maybe get divorced first, Barry.
Yeah, prioritize what you're doing with your relationship before seeking additional sort of companionship, I suppose. Do you think that there's a lumberjack in Moriah's future? I don't see it. Sydney seemed to be convinced about this lumberjack in Moriah's future.
I think there's a woman in Moriah's future. I got to tell you, I think that might be the only thing that's going to heal everything that's happened to her.
Well, we just got off our high horse about, making assumptions about Zach's sexuality.
Oh,
here.
I'm not asserting that. I'm not saying that I think that Moriah is attracted to women. I'm saying that I think that's the solution here. I think the men that she is naturally gravitating towards are problems.
Well, here's the thing. I think anyone she gravitates towards is going to be a problem because the problem is Moriah.
Well, right. She's going to Montana and she needs to embrace the saying, wherever you go, there you are.
She's going to find out.
You're going to have the same problems there, girl.
Peekaboo. Here it comes. Yeah, get ready.
Barry's looking for a physically active woman, which I think we've talked about before with the amount of running that he's doing. He's looking to chase somebody.
He's all about the thrill of the chase. Yes, we do know that. He has
more in the most dangerous game kind of way, though.
Yeah, like the thrill of the hunt in that sort of sense. But he's also seeking humor, traveling.
We're not going over the humor thing.
Not going over it?
We're not glazing over it because when he brought that up and then forced a laugh out.
Oh no, because then that was different. So humor is something that he's looking for in a partner. Also an interest in traveling, physically active, also can be serious at times, and then he just wants to laugh more. So that's different. The laughing more is different than humor. It's a different category.
So is he looking for a different kind of laughter? Because Kim's giving us a lot of laughter this season.
You know who's got a great laugh, Barry? You could probably still hear it in your sleep. Echoing, rattling around in your brain. Barry's type is Kim. We know it's Kim because he's not divorcing Kim.
Really? I feel like that's why he stuck that physically active part in there.
If that's the distinction.
Just as a little jab. Kim captains her own boat.
Okay, that's the hint for her, is where he's like, I'm not going to accept you back until physically fit. Which, yeah, go back an episode. We just recapped Fit for TV, which was the Netflix documentary of The Biggest Loser, in case you missed it.
I don't know. I still think that Barry was trying to get Sydney interested in his chubby bunny.
No. Yeah, what do you think Barry's body count is at now? And I mean it in both ways.
It's exceeding 3 because you have to exceed 3 to be a serial killer.
At that point, yeah, I mean, to be classified in that way. And he's definitely over 2 in the chubby bunny sense. Because he was married previously.
Oh, yeah, don't forget about his first wife.
Don't forget that.
Man, we need to hear from her. If she's still out there.
She is.
Somewhere.
Yeah, she's okay. Marked safe from Barry Plath.
Shall we go to Boca?
I don't think we have a choice.
All right, so Amber and Ethan have cleared their busy schedules. They don't have time to hang out with Zach and get to know him better, but they do have time to travel to Boca to hang out with Micah.
Maybe that was why Micah was like, maybe you should come down to Boca, because that's the only way you'll be able to spend any time with Ethan, because Ethan will come visit me, but he won't go out of his way to make time to spend time with you.
We just won't tell him that you'll be there.
Yeah, you'll just have
show up at the same time.
You just gotta coordinate. That's all.
So Veronica is there, obviously, and she's starting to give her commentary. I gotta tell you, I think she's really losing people. The last episode was really bad for her. And then we start this one off with her talking shit about Lydia.
Okay.
And how she thinks basically Lydia's only goal in life is to be a wife.
Well, yeah.
Her only goal in life.
Yes.
Life and wife have now merged to be the same
It's
word.
a really big concern. But yeah, this isn't stuff that you need to be talking to Amber about. Because you're basically shitting on Lydia. Because Amber's kind of like, yeah, it's not really my cup of tea either. But like, it's Lydia's life, and if that's what she wants to do, the brainwashing really sunk in. So, I mean, she seems to be really set on this whole marrying a man of God sort of thing. And so, yeah, that's the path that she's chosen, and more power to her.
And that was kind of just opening the door to the conversation of talking more about the family, because then she starts complaining to Amber about the fact that the family just ignored her when they were there at the proposal.
This is only emphasizing Amber doesn't like to be stuck in the middle of stuff. And Veronica seems to be the only way that she's able to make a connection with people is if she's dumping on somebody else. Like there has to be an outsider that you can, like a common enemy that you can kind of gang up on in this sort of way. Like that's how she can build a relationship, is by tearing down other people.
I agree, but I also think there's an issue with the Plaths where it seems like when they bring a new person into the family, everyone converges on them and decides that this is their new best friend because this is the only friend group that the Plaths have ever had.
Yes.
So new friend, and they latch on to that person until things start going badly, and then they don't want to have those conversations anymore.
Well, all it takes is one thing to go sideways. And then if you're in disagreement or continue to be in disagreement about something, then you are dangerous and you need to be removed from the herd. And so you get kind of booted out to the outside there. And Veronica's kind of reflecting on this and seeing, I'm not feeling as welcomed anymore, because then you're seeing the new people be accepted, because we had Tegan, we had Caitlin. So, I mean, like, we have new people who are in the fold now.
And now that everyone's decided that I'm a problem, and they're all gravitating towards the new people and getting rid of me, which I think is somewhat true.
I think she was trying to recruit Amber to go to bat for her. And Amber's like, this isn't Amber's responsibility. This isn't her fight.
No, and she's a child.
She's a child.
It was pretty awkward to have a teenage girl hanging out in your kitchen who is stuck there because she has nowhere else to go while her brothers are gone, and to corner her and try to have this conversation.
And then, I mean, Amber's firing back with some stuff too. I think they're both right. Like, both of the things that are being stated and like what they're upset about, because Veronica's saying, I feel outcast. I feel rejected when I was welcomed and accepted. But now everybody's like turned their back on me and kind of kicked me to the side. I agree. That has happened. We've seen it. But then Amber's also saying Veronica kind of exaggerates things. She draws things up in her head where she blows it out of proportion. She takes things very personally and then she doesn't let it go. Okay, I can agree with some of that. Parts of it, because
we've seen the exaggeration.
We've
stuff
seen
play
the
out
exaggeration,
online.
Definitely. Now, the problem is when you're saying, oh, she's blowing things out of proportion, she's seeing this through her lens. She has her own narrative that she's crafting, and then you're saying that that's not what it actually is. I think a lot of times it is that. So this is what Veronica's feeling is like, the gaslighting from the entire Plath family, telling her that, no, your viewpoint of how you're seeing things is wrong.
So she's super pissed off. This conversation, it didn't go well. Micah and Ethan show back up, and they can tell that there's some tension in the room, that there's no longer conversations going on between Amber and Veronica.
Well, Amber's kind of like jabbing at Veronica too, because like there is like this weird tension in the air, and then something that comes up in conversation, that like Veronica catches Micah in kind of a lie, or like a falsehood that he's talking about in conversation with Ethan. And then Amber kind of like rips on her about, oh, well, I guess you can't trust him anymore since he's a liar by your standards.
See, that would piss me off. She's poking the bear.
She is.
Amber's mad, so she came back and said something that she knew was coded and would trigger Veronica. Because then Veronica's like, well, I didn't call him a liar. Because
He has lied.
Now we're splitting hairs, right?
Right. Well, and I think that
we're fighting over semantics.
Yes, because we've lost sight of the real issue at hand here. Because now Amber's seeing hypocrisy from Veronica, though, because you're holding my dad to this standard where he said that you had lied, and you're saying he called you a liar.
But
and
also,
now you've
she
said
didn't
that.
lie. Isn't that the truth?
I think that's the bigger issue, right? Is that now we're getting stuck on this other argument about who said what and what the intention was behind this. And now it's getting spun. It's getting so convoluted that you don't even know what the actual issue is.
But that's the goal, isn't it?
That is the goal.
In a family where there's narcissistic abuse and you have immature people, what they will do is make the issue so confusing that you can't even have a conversation about it anymore because there's no way to come to a conclusion because it has become so convoluted.
Because if you're going to bring up one thing, they're going to bring up 5 other things that counteract that point and minimize that or dismiss it. And so then you don't get anywhere because now you're fighting a battle on not just one front, but you have all of these different issues that you're trying to address, and you cannot keep it straight.
I feel really conflicted because on one hand, I do agree and feel that Veronica's behavior has been inappropriate from what we've seen over like the last 2 episodes. But also, I do believe that she is being gaslit and that she has had to deal with a lot from this family and that she's to the point where she just cannot take it anymore.
Well, because the problem is, Ethan's even bringing it up. What's it going to take to get to have you let go of this and start with a clean slate? There is no clean slate to work off of. What are you talking about?
Why couldn't they have just had Barry apologize? Before it became this where every single person in the family had to give their input about what they thought about the issue, maybe we could have resolved this by just having had Barry say, hey, I'm sorry that you felt like I was telling people things that were untrue. This is what happened. Or she's going to have to accept to a certain standpoint that maybe the version of events that she feels happened aren't accurate.
Well, I think the problem becomes where it's like, this should have been something that was worked out between Veronica and Barry, or Veronica
Micah
and Moriah. No, not
okay.
even Micah. Micah's not involved.
No, but I think Micah may need to be the person who intervenes with his family
Correct.
members and saying,
he can be that
you need to
connection point. Yeah.
This needs to be worked out because their family, that's not the way things work.
No.
They have successfully done what they set out to do, right? In the last episode, we're going to go to the proposal. Everyone's going to ignore what happened with you, not speak to you, make you feel uncomfortable the whole time. And then we're going to go, aren't you over it? See, we had a day together and
It's
nobody
fine.
said anything to you.
It was fine. You didn't blow up. We didn't have to get into any messy emotions or feelings.
So just keep doing that.
Yeah, just do that again forever for every single thing. That was exactly what we expected was going to happen. Because then it kind of comes up where Micah confronts Veronica. They kind of got into it in the kitchen there. They go out back and continue this conversation. It's more of an argument than a conversation at this point because Micah's trying to figure out, how did the Plath family become your enemy, Veronica, so fast? But that, even just in that question, frames it in a way where, why are you in opposition with us? It's an us versus them, us versus her mentality that you're already bringing into this equation.
But they're making it seem like it's her that has created that dynamic. But that's the dynamic that this family has brought to every other relationship with other people involved.
Yeah. And then that's what he's saying, like, oh, it seems like you're just going from thing to thing to thing. Everything upsets you now. And it's like, well, because nothing gets resolved. How can you move on and pretend like everything's fine all the time for every single issue that comes up when you have these major, huge falling outs that are never resolved?
And, he really didn't think, or he didn't talk too much about the fact that she said, you guys don't feel anything. That's part of the problem. When something happens that upsets me, I feel emotions related to it and I want it to be resolved. You guys just brush things aside, which has been something that's been taught to them by Kim and Barry.
Well, and Amber was talking about that too. Yeah, I think we think through stuff a lot. We don't always feel things. Yes, that is very true because that was what you were taught to do. You were
suppress all your emotions.
Entirely, yeah.
Don't express them.
Especially negative emotions. That's not acceptable. We don't want to have to deal with any of that mess.
We just saw that with Lydia.
Bottle it up.
With being upset about Ethan coming to her and saying something that upset her, and then she had to find the silver lining in it, talk about that, and then she went home and cried about it.
So if the conversation wasn't going well to begin with, then Ethan and Amber just make their way into the backyard mid-fight, because at this point, it is a fight. The way that Micah and Veronica are going back and forth, it's not good.
Okay, why would you come outside?
Why? Or why would you intrude on this?
Even if you didn't realize maybe what was happening through hearing it through the door or through one of the windows, when you open the door and you see that this is what's going on, just close it and walk back in.
You hear, if you take one step out the door, you hear the tone of what's happening here, just go back inside.
Why are you trying to create a peanut gallery? Because again, it's becoming us versus
you.
Her.
Yes. And so, I mean, this is the way, and even Veronica saying, no, like Amber needs to go inside. This isn't a conversation for children that's happening. Much too good for children.
But the conversation earlier was for children.
That's the part that I don't like. But also I liked how this conversation isn't for children. So Ethan, maybe you should go back inside too, because mentally, I mean, you're probably like 12.
Yeah, that meant you too.
So that includes you. Please go away. And the conversation takes a shift here. This is where the turn kind of happens, where now it's just Veronica berating Micah, where this is the stuff where it's like, I don't like the tone of this. This isn't constructive. You should have stopped talking about this in this argument in this fashion. But I don't know. This is just probably how many months, how many years of frustration that Veronica has built up at this point.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. She's got all of this built up, and now she's got the cameras there too. And I think she's using the opportunity to let it all out, because there's so much stuff that has upset her that has never been resolved that she's just letting it all spill out. Because she brings up the stuff with Mama Plath about how the other house that they bought, the new house that they haven't moved into yet, that she tried to get Micah to be put on the title of that house, even though Micah contributed zero money towards buying it.
And they're not married. So why would Micah's name be on the title for that? You're trying to exploit her.
Weren't there similar allegations with Olivia? Like that Mama Plath is very interested in making sure her kids get someone else's nut, if you will.
They're Chubby Bunny.
I mean, she's learned that lesson the hard way. Was her name on the title of all those houses with Barry?
Wasn't on the boat.
That's why it's the only thing she's got.
The only thing she's got. No, and then also just, this is where Micah's then feeling like Veronica's just kind of punching down at him, because she's letting him know, yeah, you guys are not emotionally intelligent. You do not have emotional intelligence, Micah. And this is where I kind of felt bad for Micah for a second, where it was like, he was never equipped with this. He doesn't know how to navigate this. But if you come to that realization where I don't have the tools to do this, how do I acquire those tools? That's where you need to do some work and some self-exploration and some discovery and some self-help books and some therapy to get you to that point where you can have that capacity. But Veronica's not going about it in a very constructive way of just kind of beating him down with the fact that, hey, you don't have emotional intelligence. You don't have a capacity for this. There's no way you're able to handle this.
Which, if that's how you feel, then it's like we're incompatible.
Then what's going on? Yeah, then what are we doing here? Telling him to grow a pair isn't constructive.
She's just venting.
Because now at this point, she's just upset. Yeah, she is just saying things to be cruel at this point, which then that is only going to build the case against you. This is the system, though, is that it's set up where you get poked and prodded and you're constantly agitated to a point that when you lash out and when you have had enough, now you look like the crazy one, because nobody would say those horrible things.
The right word, because that's the intention behind everything that they're doing, is to make you look crazy.
And it's the same pattern that we've already seen with Olivia.
And she points that out, finally, which I think is something that she's been waiting to bring up, is Moriah did the exact same thing to Olivia. She lied about Olivia. And you guys all know that that was all untrue. And now she's done the same thing to me. So why am I the one who's continuing to catch shit for this when the common denominator is Moriah? And then she reveals what she has not told Micah yet, which is that she knows, in fact, everything that happened with Moriah and Olivia and everything that happened with Olivia and the family because she's been talking to her for months now.
So that's not good. That's not looking good.
Okay, what I didn't like about that, I'm not even going to go to the fact that it was wrong of her to be talking to Olivia behind everyone's back, because I don't think it was. I think she's trying to figure out what the fuck is happening to her in this family.
Yeah,
and this is the only other person that can explain the dynamic to her.
Well, who would understand it or at least know where you're coming from in the situation that you found yourself in. I don't think I would fault Veronica for that either.
What I don't like is that is the light bulb moment for Micah of, oh, now I know what's wrong with her.
Yep.
She's been turned against the family by that witch Olivia. So you just gave them an out. That's it for you. Like, they're done with you because...
It's the ammo, that they're going to go with now. That explains everything of why she's so stuck in her ways, because she's been polluted and corrupted by Olivia.
Is Micah the only person who works at this fence building company? It's just him and whoever is traveling in town to work with him?
Pretty much, yeah.
Or to be there to visit him, but then you're also going to be put to work.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That was why he was really excited for Zach to come down. You should really come down to Boca. I need all the help I can get.
Because not only does he have Ethan helping him build the fence, Amber is also helping.
Well, Amber just wanted to get out of the house. She didn't want to go with Veronica.
Oh, she wasn't going to hang out there.
And, well, I mean, because that was the thing, was that Ethan and Amber were so uncomfortable in the house that they went and got a hotel that night.
Good decision.
Yeah, that's a good call. Because the fight, it was really not going great. Not good vibes in the house. Not good energy.
It pissed me off when Micah was explaining what happened with Veronica this morning.
Oh my God.
So he's really trying to ham up like how much he's trying to fix things with her. That he kissed her goodbye, told her how much he loved her, she was still asleep. And then he called her later in the day to ask what the plans were, and she flipped out. Correct. Because nothing has been resolved, and yet you want me to go about the day with guests here as though there are no problems.
Pretending like it's fine. It's almost like it's a continuation of the exact same issue that is still unresolved. Because that was what I had in my notes. You didn't resolve anything. Because Micah is just mind blown that Veronica's still fighting. She's still upset with me. Yes, dude.
My guess is this is a pattern in their relationship where they have a big fight. She expresses what's wrong. Then he acts like nothing happened the next day, and they never get back to having that conversation again to resolve anything.
Well, either that or, it's like it's a way of avoiding, because Micah doesn't know what to do with that. He doesn't know how to fix this problem, or he doesn't know how to even like be there emotionally for her to agree that like, oh yeah, it's not going great. Like, he isn't even doing that. He is telling her what you're feeling is wrong.
Just fix that and everything will be better.
Yes.
Even though I don't even think it would.
I don't think it would either. It's just going to be something else that comes up. They're going to find something else to be upset about.
So all that has happened is Micah has found himself in the exact same position that Ethan was in, where it's either my girlfriend or my wife or my family.
Well, and he's blaming Veronica. She's just so stuck in her ways. She's stuck in her thought process of how she thinks that things are, that now there's no fixing it. And also, I think he was just kind of upset that Veronica called him a spineless worm. So he brings that up and tells Ethan, hey, Veronica talked to Olivia. And that's pretty much all that Ethan needed to hear to know, yep, this is pretty much donezo.
I don't know why Micah told him that, especially in that moment, because Ethan's still there for another day. I think that maybe you could have waited until after he was out of the state and had gone home.
Yeah.
Because he's pissed.
Even just mentioning Olivia around Ethan is enough to set this man off at this point. So to then say that, hey, someone that's close to me, my girlfriend Veronica, is having conversations behind my back with your ex-wife Olivia, that's not good to hear at this point for Ethan.
No, and the other problem with it is going to be Ethan has now written Veronica off.
Now nothing that she says is going to be good enough. He's not going to trust her. He's not going to want to fix anything with her. He's not going to want to make things better. He wants her gone because she's just as big of a problem as Olivia now at this point.
Yeah, this is definitely the beginning of the end for Veronica. I mean, it was already not going well, but I think there's no way she could walk that back.
And we came so close where Micah asks Ethan at one point, I mean, are we that messed up of a family? Do we make people feel that terrible? Where
yes.
Veronica, yes.
Check. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
People are telling you that you make them feel like that, and you still don't believe them?
I honestly still have more hope for Micah than I ever do for Ethan in a relationship, because I do think there's still something in the back of his mind that is making him question, is it truly the person I'm with, or is it my family?
Yeah, how many more people is it going to take for Micah to make that pattern connection? Because I think it's already scary enough for him where he's piecing it together between this is strikingly similar to what happened to Olivia, and the exact same process, the exact same conversations, the patterns, the direction that this is going. It's all very, very familiar. But Ethan is there very quickly to remind him, no. I mean, we got Tegan, we got Kaylin, we got all these people. They're new. That's what we said. We're talking about people in the family. They haven't been around long enough to feel the rejection yet.
The only person that you guys have had an issue with from day one was Zach. Otherwise, everyone else, they liked for a period of time, and then they just flipped the script on.
And to not even mention Zach in that either, because it's like, well, yeah, I think you know that you have been outcasting Zach, so you don't want to bring him up as a great example.
Busy with him. You guys have your hands full with Veronica and Zach right now. Wait until Veronica's out of the picture.
You're going to have so much hate energy to go around now where you're going to find enough to sprinkle on everybody. So maybe that's the problem. If it's just people coming in one at a time, they became the sole focus, and then they become the sole fixation of everything that's wrong too. So
we need to dilute it a little bit.
We had enough people join in because now we have like multiples where it's like Zach and Tegan and Kaylin all joined at the same time. Maybe they stand a chance because now we're kind of spreading it out. They all came in around the same point.
Only time will tell, huh?
I mean, I think we know where Ethan stands with, it's probably time to cut Veronica loose. I think that would be Ethan's advice here. And then Micah's still struggling with the fact of, if he can't love Veronica the way that she needs, maybe they're not right for each other. Maybe they're not a good match, not suited for each other. I think it is kind of ironic, too, the fact that Micah was very slow to commit in this relationship. And now that they are committed, where Veronica's kind of pulling away because this is toxic and this is terrible, now Micah's like, oh no, I want that relationship, though. It's something that he's become accustomed to, that he appreciates and that he does like. I think he genuinely does care about Veronica. I also think he doesn't have the capacity to provide her with the support that she needs to navigate his fucking crazy family.
Yeah, honestly, I think the only way this ends up working out, and it's not going to work out between the two of them, it's that Micah is going to have to find a girlfriend who is like Tegan. You have to have white noise.
Veronica was too loud, too opinionated. She speaks up. She doesn't let stuff go. That's not going to fly in the Plath family. It's just not going to work.
Looking for more ladies with lobotomies.
Ladies with lobotomies.
To give chubby bunnies to.
Oh, no.
Well, that's a good segue into the description for next week.
There's more chubby bunnies next week?
The Birds and the Bees is the episode.
Okay.
We're going to have Ethan and Amber showing back to Cairo and I guess talking shit about everything that happened in Boca. They're going to fill everyone in on the drama that happened there. So
I would love to hear their take on what happened. Yeah, their assessment.
Sure, that's going to help with the family relations with Veronica.
Really good.
Sure. Lydia's going to go wedding dress shopping, so I'm sure we're going to get to see a lot of modest wedding gowns.
I picked the dress.
And Micah and Veronica meet up to discuss their relationship.
meet up. Yeah, because I think she's living in the new home that's under construction. Find some time. They're separating here slowly but surely.
And then Kim and Barry discuss the intimate side of marriage with Lydia and Zach.
Oh, so it's Kim and Barry who are going to give the hormone talk.
They're going to double team this one.
Oh, tag team. I wonder if it'll rekindle anything. Get a little spark going.
Remember the intimate times they've had together?
Remember that 30-second long gazebo kiss from season 1? How could we forget?
Oh, please never. Do not.
It's burned into my mind.
I'm glad that they have broken up so that we don't have to use that footage again.
They might use it.
No, I bet you it's going to show up in the first kiss. When Lydia and Zach have their first kiss and they have the wedding and we'll hear the whole thing about what that was like, they're going to show us Kim and Barry kissing again.
I just hope it's not in a gazebo.
Guys, prepare yourself mentally for that.
No,
Because that's my guess.
Block it out.
They're going to dig that back up.
Oh, God.
What are you guys thinking about the season? What is this? This is episode 5? I mean, we're getting there. We're like midway through.
Oh, yeah. Big stuff coming, though. Lots more to go. I think it's been action-packed so far. I was a little worried with Olivia leaving that we weren't going to have too much of an input, but Veronica's like Olivia 2.0, you know? It's kind of, she's carrying the torch, and she's here to burn everything down.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.